Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Ybot, and I bring you Imperator Margok on Raid Finder difficulty, as always. So my apologies it's taken so long to actually get this guide up here. I've got some footage saved from a while back here, and I've just been a little bit distracted by some other stuff on my YouTube channel, and also this is a hobby. This is not my full-time job by any means. So the amount of time that I can spend on this varies from week to week. Anyway, let's get started here. Let's take a look at Imperator Margok. So, first off, stuff that you need to know. It says for the Icy Veins guide on icyveins.com, he has a 15-minute enraging timer, which, quite frankly, I've never seen that. So let's try that again. 15-minute enrage timer. So after 15 minutes, he'll enrage. I wouldn't be surprised if he does this on this difficulty, as well as if you die to him, then you'll just get stacks of determination and eventually you'll be able to nuke him down. We got him down first time here, and the entire video's length was like 11 minutes and 30 seconds or so. That was including like some dicking around before and after the raid, so I don't think there's any danger of actually hitting that rage timer there, if it does indeed exist in Raid Finder. So, let's cover the important stuff here. And we've already gotten into Phase 1, which seems to happen super quick, whereas Phase 2, I did notice, took forever to get to. Anyway, tanks. Perform a tank switch when Mark of Chaos is cast. When you are affected by Mark of Chaos, you need to move away from the raid. This is not possible during Phase 3. The rest of the raid must instead move away from you. You need to pick up the Arcane Aberrations if you're the off-tank, or even if you're the main tank and the other tank may not be doing their job. You need to run through the Force Nova like I just did right there to avoid taking too much damage, just like everything else. And let's take another look at Mark of Chaos here, because that's the biggest thing you need to worry about. So, Mark of Chaos. Let's just get a better look here. It does a lot of damage to your raid. Imperator Margok marks the player with chaotic magic. After 8 seconds, the magic explodes, inflicting 179,000 arcane damage to their allies within 35 yards. So, that's pretty damn bad. That's gonna knock everyone down to half health if you don't get away. Fortunately, you get a huge big notification. You turn into a giant version of yourself, and you run away like I just did there a few seconds ago. So that's pretty much all there is to it. And please remember this if you're tanking this, guys. I've seen a lot of tanks who just kind of don't care, but it's a lot easier on your healers if you follow that and run away. During Phase 3, what honestly happens in LFR most of the time is people just soak them because you can. But what you should do is you should have the rest of your raid run away. And in Phase 4, get as far the hell away from your raid as you can, because it's basically an arcane shotgun at that point. It's freaking nasty, so you're gonna spawn like a bunch of arcane orbs, and if you're at point-blank range at that point, then your raid's gonna get hit by a lot of those things. Also, dodge the little arcane bombs that you see on the floor. They don't become a major concern until the 4th phase of the fight here. So let's just go through and let's take a look at everyone here. So run into the Force Nova, I've covered. Avoid destructive resonance mines. Mind the mines. Affected by Arcane Wrath, move far out of the raid. Okay. Let's take a look at what Arcane Wrath is, actually. I think that might be the one that I'm talking about here. Imperator Margok brands a random player with arcane energy, branding them for 4 seconds. When it is expired, it deals 46,400 damage, arcane damage to the wearer, and jumps to the closest ally within 200 yards. So you really... I don't think you can actually avoid that at all. Unless you're have the raid on one side and the other player's on the other side. Okay. So yeah, it's not going to go away completely, but its range decreases by 50%. That's something that I think mostly the DPS and the healers have to deal with there. So, anyways, Anyways, here, I have been remiss in my duties. We are at the first transitional phase. That has just ended. I'm popping back over here to deal with this guy and deal with the arcane aberrations. That is the other thing that you need to deal with as Z-Tank. You need to make sure that you pick up all the adds that spawn, which is just using your regular tanking common sense. I also recommend just tanking him away from the raid. I think that's just always a good idea in case he has like a cleave mechanic or something. Stuff does change a little bit within the phases. Like, first phase, those big arcane elementals are relatively simple. And, hey look, this is the phase where you can't move away. And the raid actually followed, did the correct thing. The tank moved him to the other side of the room. Very good. And, alright, very good. I believe at some point, I think it's phase 4, those adds actually split into a bunch of tiny little adds, which you then have to tank all of them, which is nasty, but you still want to get those suckers down as quickly as possible. So, we've got him at about half health. The next transition, when we get to the next transition there, you need to make sure that at least one of your tanks is on the Gorian Reaver. That guy hits like a Mack truck, so your healers are going to have to be on notice for that. And wow, this is actually a particularly good run. Typically I do get better runs on this particular character than I do on my alt. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but yeah, the people on my main server here, they tend to know their stuff pretty well. However, it looks like somebody did pop heroism a bit too early here. What I normally recommend for the raid is that you save your heroism until the second transition. That's usually what happens, is that when the 3 adds pop up and that Gorian Reaver is smacking your tank, so in this case, if you're following my videos, that's probably you, smacking you in the face as hard as he can, you're going to have to start putting up debuff, or you're going to have to start putting up your tanking cooldowns to avoid taking too much damage. And here we go. Here's the phase that I am talking about. So, once again, 2 Gorian mages, and you've got the Gorian Reaver as well, and it looks like the other tank is actually dealing with him, but trust me, this guy hits like a freaking Mack truck. At this point, this is where I would recommend normally... Yeah, you see that? He's like knocking me down to half health without even much trouble. And at this point, I think I have Blackwing, not Blackwing Lair, Blackrock Foundry gear. So, you do also need to make sure that you pick him up when he kicks you. I believe that does cause you to lose all aggro. And also, you want to make sure you mark the skull on him, because he hits really hard on the tank. You want to get him down as quickly as you can, and then you deal with these other little bastards right here. And then, hopefully, if you've gotten them down fast enough, you get into phase 4 with just Margok, and that is where things get really kind of crazy. So, crazy is a relative term here. He's still not as bad as Korrigath, but yeah, he spawns a bunch of crazy little arcane adds. He does more damage with his Force Novas. The Mark of Chaos there turns into a shotgun for the tanks, and mines get dropped all over the friggin' place. So this is a little bit hectic for LFR, but it's still lots of fun. It's quite doable. Most of the time you're going to be succeeding at this. It's not like Blackhand is right now, and as you see, I'm running towards the door. That's what I found to be the best bet. What I saw the tanks doing before when I was DPS, and you see right there, that's a good reason to do that, because you spawn those arcane shotgun pellets, and unfortunately one of them did go through the raid, but the rest of them did not. Just imagine if that had happened when you're in the middle of your raid, tanking them in the middle of the room. That would potentially be a wipe, or very close to it. So that's why you want to get as far away from your raid as possible. As I mentioned, the adds are like self-replicating. They split off, they become many little adds, and yeah, at this point, you'll want to try to keep at least some of your tanking cooldowns available, You don't want to use all of them on the Gorian Reaver because you're going to take a fair bit of damage in this phase. And use your speed abilities if you've got them available. If you've talented into them, it makes things a lot easier for that particular part right there where you need to get the hell away from your raid, because it's really important at this point. It's important in the rest of the fight, but it's really important at this point. And once again, the mines. Watch the mines. Watch the friggin' mines. They're all over the place. But apart from that, guys, that pretty much covers the fight. This phase should hopefully not last too long. Just so long as most of your raid is alive. If most of your raid is dead, then this phase will most likely kill you. Or if most of your raid dies during this phase, this will likely kill you. But as far as the tanking goes, just keep in mind the hectic mechanics, and you should do just fine. Once again, it is not as hard on tanks as the raid breaker there, Korrigath. So that pretty much covers it. That covers all of Highmaul LFR now, guys. I will be focusing from now on exclusively on Blackrock Foundry until I have that taken care of, and I will be bringing you guys Hellfire Citadel Raid Finder once that comes up. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And you can also follow me on Twitter at YBotPowered if you want to know when my videos come up. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.